Hello everyone, today I will be demonstrating how to explore the buccal surfaces of tooth number 30 and 29 using the 11-12 Explorer. To explore the mandibular posterior aspects facing towards us, we want to be at a 9 o'clock position from the patient's head, which I will demonstrate with this typodont. And we first want to identify the correct working end. And we can do this by finding the working end tip that adapts the tooth that we're working on, so it should look like this. And we also want to see that the terminal shank is parallel to the long axis of the tooth and that the functional shank goes up and over the tooth when we place our explorer on the distal surface of the tooth that we were working on. So it should look like this. I will also demonstrate how to properly do the modified pen grasp. So first we want to place our index finger and thumb on the handle. Make sure that they're parallel on the opposing sides of the handle. And we also want our middle finger on the functional shank. And we also want to see that our index finger is in a soft C shape and that our handle is placed between our second and third knuckle. And for our fulcrum finger, which will be my ring finger, you want to place it about 2 to 3 teeth away from the tooth that you're working on. So if I'm working on the buccal of 30, I will place my fulcrum finger on tooth number 28 or 27. And you also want to make sure that the index finger, ring finger, and middle finger always remain in contact. Starting with tooth number 30, we want to place the working end towards the distal line angle, like this. And then we want to do side-to-side strokes or the lateral strokes. And we want them to be in small and controlled movements. And when we are making the rocking side-to-side pivot movements, it is only your wrist that is making the rocking side-to-side motion. And as you get towards that distal line angle, you want to start rolling your instrument using your index finger and thumb to roll towards that interproximal space. So it should look like this. And when you pivot, you also want to pivot on your fulcrum finger and bring your elbows in as you get closer to that interproximal area. And now that we are at the interproximal area, we want to switch our movements to do vertical up and down strokes. And we're going to place the working end tip just about halfway through that interproximal area. Just to repeat it, it should look like this. Side to side pivot, side to side pivot, side to side pivot, side to side pivot, and up and down, up and down, up and down. For the mesial surface, you want to switch your working end tip around to point towards the mesial line angle. Reposition yourself and reposition your fulcrum finger. Make sure everything's aligned. And then you want to repeat those lateral strokes, the side-to-side rocking motion strokes, and pivot, roll. We're back to that interproximal area where we make vertical up and down strokes. So I'll do it again. Moving on to the buccal surfaces of number 29, we repeat the same modified pen grasp, but now our fulcrum finger will be placed 2 to 3 teeth away from tooth number 29, so I'll place mine on tooth number 27. And we'll start with the distal surface. So we're doing that rocking motion, bringing my elbows in and rolling as I'm getting towards that interproximal area. Then we're doing those vertical strokes once we get into the interproximal area, halfway through. So repeat it, side, side, pivot, side, side, pivot, side, side, pivot, up and down, up and down, up and down. Now we want to go towards the mesial line angle. So we switch our working end tip around. And we also want to note that for now, for the subgingival technique, we want to get close to the gum line. So let's reposition ourselves. Working side to side, rolling as I get closer, up and down, up and down, up and down.